I am Shannon Petzel, and I am starting us off today. I'm just doing a little bit of nail prep right before we get started on this very first live. Hello, everybody. Hop on. Please confirm I'm in the right place. So, all right, we're doing a little... Oh, I'm from Minnesota, too. So, actually... That's what this is. This is a rice bag, and the reason I use this is because I'm always cold when I get into my office to do my live, so I warm up my hands, and I have another flax bag warming up my strips while I'm preparing and as I work, so I can get my strips all ready. And we're gonna get started because I'm trying to do this quickly. So what I'm doing today is a fun little mixed mani. I'm trying to show a few different techniques here. We're going to start off with Naughty or Ice, which is from the holiday collection. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. We're going to do some chatting here while I do a mani. So one thing I do actually, I was going to tell you really quick. So I have a rice bag or a flax bag. I think a flax bag works a little bit better to retain the heat. But the little bit of, and that little extra kind of moisture you get. I should have talked more this morning, first thing when I got up, because now I got to clear my throat and everything. So please excuse that. So we're going to start with the base layer. And we're doing a holiday themed mixed mani. If you're not familiar with mixed manis, I'm going to show you a few different techniques today. I know some people are all about, trying new things and getting creative. Some people like to just keep it basic and simple and nice and quick, which is kind of our bread and butter, the really simple dry nail polish, very convenient. But if you want to get creative, this is a good way, a couple ideas to show you how to do that. So one of the things I'm going to do is add a glitter dip. And I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can do it. We're going to do the traditional way, and then I'm going to do an all over. I'll show you those later, but I got to get my base on. I was going to have this done, and then I decided just to go from the beginning, just in case people wanted to see it from start to finish. And if we have any people that are more new to Color Street, maybe they could pick up some techniques. So if you don't have the rubber cuticle pusher, I highly recommend that. That's one of my basic tools I use in almost every mani. That's this little guy. So, and then you don't want to heat the strip too much, but when you're in a cold climate, or even for me in the summer with our air conditioning on, our office stays pretty cool. I'm actually have a, what's it called? I have a desk, heating pad that's coming. One of my, actually a lot of my customers use that because that just keeps everything nice and toasty. You can use a regular heating pad. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys. So good morning, everybody. I see some names that I'm familiar with. So sorry, I almost did the wrong nail. Oh, and then I picked, this isn't the best size, but that's okay. So I have a couple curvy nails that are a little bit tricky to do with solids. And you just have to be a little bit more, I have to pull them a little more gently and a little bit more than I do on the other nails to get them flat. And, it doesn't have to be perfect. I kind of picked a nail that isn't quite... Oops, I ripped it a little. Yeah. I might take that one off. I'm going to take that one off just because I'm doing a demo. And I like it to look nice. So I'm just going to... Sorry, I used to use this dip jar. It's a little gross right now, but I'm going to just take this off really quick and redo that one. So now you have to bear with me. I don't want to start with a base that's not looking great. So this is the, I'll show you what this is in just a minute. All right. So as a stylist, of course, you know, you don't want this to happen on a live, but I'm going to show you. I have a dip jar that I get from Target that I actually replace the remover with and put the Color Street remover in it because I like the Color Street remover a lot. All right, so let's do, hopefully I have enough strips pulled out to fix this. Oh, I'm going to have to open more. That's okay. I will get more out. So you don't really need to warm the strips depending on, so I did a test run yesterday, so I had this pack open. So when I'm using a pack that I opened earlier, I like to try to, sometimes if they're not the most pliable or your hands are cold, it's nice to warm up your hands and your strips a little bit. You know, you obviously don't want to heat them beyond, so they're too sticky, because that's a thing too. So this is always my problem nail. So we're gonna, I should have thought of that before doing a solid, but that's all right. I don't know if this is long enough. My nail's a little longer. Let's see here. All right. It is hard to watch the comments and do my nails. I have realized that. Especially with such a big group, we get a lot more comments than in my VIP group. But anyway, so I am in Minnesota where it's lightly snowing. Oh, maybe it stopped. I was outside with the dogs earlier. And we have two kids, teens, almost a teenager, 12 and 15, so an almost driver, which is like, that's a whole nother aspect of parenting that they don't really prepare you for. Oh, and then I did the wrong nail on my other hand. Okay, well, that's fine. That's funny. My left and my right hand are not going to match today because I'm not going to take that off. But you'll get the idea. I normally have them match. But you know what? When you're on a live, you just go with it because that's what happens. So, all right. All right, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to watch comments too, so I'm going to have to probably ignore them for a little bit so I can get my mani done in a quick amount of time. When you mess around with so one thing with the DIY kind of creative looks where you are mixing and matching stuff and cutting and doing a little bit more beyond the basic single or even the double layer, it can take a little bit more time. It's a little bit more putsy. I'm also like super picky, so I am going to have to open this. Let me just grab another nail out of here so I don't forget. And then, so I've been a Color Street for 4 years. In October, it was 4 years. And like I said, I have two kids, 12 and 15, and then we have two dogs. I have it's now almost an 11-month-old Corgi puppy, although he's pretty full-size right now, being 11 months old. And he's the cutest little thing. And then we got a 9-year-old Boxer Bulldog mix, and he is the biggest baby, big boy. So we have one giant dog. Our Boxer Bulldog is almost like 85 pounds, maybe almost 90 pounds. A little on the heavy side, according to the vet, but he's muscular, we say. He's sturdy. So, but then our Corgi is a fluffy Corgi. So if you're not familiar with Corgis, they're those dogs. Well, they're the dogs that the Queen Elizabeth had. So they are the short little legged, with the big ears. They kind of look like foxes. Ours is actually what they call a tricolor, so it's black and white and brown. And then so we have a hands full with a puppy, because he's getting better being 11 months old, but he's still very much puppy. So yeah, so I'm using both a cuticle stick, an orange stick. I always call this an orange stick. I'm not sure why they're called orange sticks. I think that's what they were called. I really actually don't know. If anybody knows why this is called an orange stick, let me know. And then the rubber cuticle pusher. Those are probably my two favorite tools. Like I said, I'm trying to go fast and make this look good, so we'll see. And then I did the wrong two nails, left those blank, but that's okay, because we will do two separate, it doesn't matter that the accent nails are back. Made from orange wood. Huh. Interesting. I have no idea. All right. So, let me see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing just a regular solid. This is the Shimmer Solid Naughty or Ice. It's really hard not to say naughty or nice, but it's naughty or ice. And then we're going to put, so the next layer I'm going to do is Over the Moon, which is see, this is the other thing. I always use my thumb to cut, and I really shouldn't. So sometimes I'll use my orange stick, sometimes I'll use the rubber cuticle pusher. We're going to do that right now. So when I use my thumb, a lot of times I'll ruin the end of it by pushing when I use that as the tool to cut with, but it's hard not to. I should have saved my thumb for the very end, and even because I'm doing another layer on everything. So we're going to have two accent nails. You can do different accent nails. So I'm doing these two on this hand, and apparently I'm doing these two on this hand because I did that on accident. But we'll make it work, like I said. So, all right, these are good enough for the demo. Yes, this rainbow bag is one of my customers made this for me. Actually, I got these from two different customers. All right, so let me get my small strips for my pinkies. Okay. Yes, I love putting on multiple strips. So we're going to do a regular glitter dip on my solid nails. And then I'm going to show you on the nails without anything. I'm going to do how you do like a coverall or all over look. I'll show you. So you can see how much. So with glitter dips, one thing you want to make sure is that you have some contrast, depending on the look you want. So you could technically put it on a lighter color and still get a glitter look, but it won't pop like it does against the darker color. So, all right. So I'm doing this one because it gives you kind of that snow effect. It is Minnesota. We have lots of snow here already. It's kind of a fun winter holiday theme. And if you notice, my pinky is crooked on this nail, or on this hand. It's just something I was born with, which like traumatized me as a kid. I always thought like I had something wrong with it, because it also didn't grow as much, so it's shorter and it's curvy. But I made my doctor x-ray it when I was little, and it has like a little curve to it in the bone. So, all right, I didn't need this one. So let's get this one done. All right, I'm trying to cruise through this as I'm watching my time, but I think we're doing good. You know what? Somebody says this looks like Sonic Ices. I have never been to a Sonic before. And I know we have a few here in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, but I have never been to one. I will have. Is an icy like a slushy, or is it more like a shake? Because I've never had one. All right. So again, with the glitter dip, if you put it on normal, with like it is, the glitter is at the tip of your nail. I'm just going to fold that under for now. This is going to be too short, I can tell. So let's get another one. All right. Yeah, so we have like that fun blue with the white, and then I'm going to finish. We're going to finish the overlay and then get the 2 accent nails. But those are going to be the last ones I'm doing to show you guys. And that we're going to do, hopefully, a technique that maybe, I'm sure some of you have done, maybe some of you haven't. It's a pretty simple way to kind of add a fun custom look. So it's, and oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I have them sitting right here. The set, the retired set I'm giving away this morning, first thing, is we're going with the similar theme. This is called Cold Front, which is a shimmered art design with the little snowflakes and an ombre on some. So this is our retired set that I am giving away during this live. I'm going to probably do it at the end when I can actually look at the comments. All right, so even if you don't get snow where you live, then you can have snow on your fingernails. So, and if you do get snow, then you'll match. All right, let's get this. So I don't usually get 2 nails done with every strip, especially if I let my nails grow out a little bit. Apparently I have long nail beds, and sometimes I do. So this is the Over the Moon. I love this. This is actually one of my favorite glitter dip overlays. So, and like I said, you can put it over a white to give a subtle look where it's the white on white, or you can put it over something more contrasting like I did to have it pop. And then it definitely is more noticeable, but I do like that white on white look, if you have ever seen that. See, and then I get these little extra pieces stuck to my fingers, and then they get stuck under my nail strips when I go to, that always seems to happen on lives for me. All right, we're doing good on time. I got 2 accent nails left. They don't even take that long. Oh, if you notice, I use the inker technique is what somebody started calling it, and I've just been going with it. Where I flip, or you actually don't flip it. You turn when I take the strip off, I use that same side, the glossy side of the backing, and I lay the strip back on there, and it helps me handle it, so it doesn't stick to my hand so much. It also, with a clear overlay like that, it doesn't get fingerprints all over it. So that's a little tip if you haven't tried that. I'm so used to doing it, I don't even really think about it. Okay, so those are my 3 main nails, and then I'm going to do 2 accent. So we will do, and I'm going to show you, well, I am going to need more. All right, I didn't plan ahead well enough on this because I forgot that I don't get 2 strips done with each. So let's just take those out. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to plan ahead in my brain, and it's a little too early for me. Okay, so a couple ways to do this. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Actually, I could probably show you 4, but let's just do these 2. So I got to take the little, oh, that's going to rip, which doesn't really matter because I won't need that whole strip. So I'm going to do a technique where I want the glitter kind of in the middle. I want it to cover my nail. So you just line it up in the middle like this, because I want it at the base of the nail too. And you can just clean it off like normal. And then I'm going to show you another way that I like to do it, because why not? All right. This is where we're getting into my accent nails. Okay, so then I push it down with my cuticle pusher, my rubber cuticle pusher. And then I'm going to come in with my orange stick and clean it up. So this is just where you have to be careful. Just follow along the base of your nail. You know, you don't want to obviously like poke your proximal fold, which is that cuticle, the base part of that cuticle. We always call it the cuticle. It's technically the proximal fold, but just got to be gentle around there. But you see how it gives that different look. It has that overall glitter, because we're going to add some slant tips to this. So, and we're going to do, like I said, I forgot to get strips for the other side, but we'll do both. When I did my test yesterday, this is bugging me that this is on here. This is over my, oh, I'll clean it up later. Sorry. That's the other thing. I spend a lot of time doing my little kind of DIY mixed mayonnaise because I'm super picky. I'm trying to go fast here, so we aren't here for an hour, but it's kind of therapeutic for me when I just sit and get creative and do some fun stuff with my mayonnaise. So you can totally line up the glitter to cover, which has a fun effect, and then you can also reverse it. Oh, I was going to show you another technique. Good thing I have another hand, because I'll do a different way, as long as I remember. So I am going to add to this, so this is what it looks like if you do a glitter dip without a strip underneath. You just have your bare nail. So that's kind of a fun, subtle look. It's different than, didn't cut that all the way. Let's make sure I push this down really well too. Yeah, Rochelle, if you if you're using multiple sets and sitting and taking times, I mean, you can take like an hour or sometimes more. The longest I've probably taken to do a mani was 2 hours, because I did a ton of X-Acto knife work, cutting. It was one of my favorite manis, but yes, it's definitely a labor of love when you spend that much time, doing it like that. So this is what I'm going to show you. I like to sometimes just take and cut. Sorry, I forgot to do. I'm taking my little out of my trash here. Okay, so I like to take and see where I want that glitter and just kind of use this as a template just to cut a curved bottom. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it helps. Then it saves me a step that I don't have to clean that part off, if that makes sense. So, I'll show you. So when I put it on here, see that it is a better fit, and I don't have to clean up the excess at the base of my fingernail. So if you take that time to cut that, it saves. You can do that same. So if you want to do a reverse glitter dip, you can do the same thing. You just go up a little bit further on the strip so that you have some clear on the tip, if that makes sense. So I'll show you that again. Stop using my thumb. All right. So what I like I said, sorry, I want to clean that up. Okay, so let's do that again. I keep putting that in there. So find where you want it to line up. And then just, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're a huge perfectionist, you can sit and take a pencil and trace it. I've done that before. When I make my own, sometimes I make my own tips, and you can use like a punch, or you can use a quarter and just trace a quarter. So I've done that before too. So, all right. So I forgot I didn't take the clear layer off. All right, let's get this last overall glitter done, and then we'll finish with some double layer tips. We're gonna do slant tips because those are the easiest to do. And like I said, you can do the same thing with a curve tip, where you can take a quarter and trace to get a perfectly nice curved line. That's something people normally have at home, are quarters. You can also take a circle punch. I think the 1 inch or is it 3/4 inch circle punch is what the strips are. They're similar to that. Somebody needs to comment. I think it was 3/4. I have one. Maybe it's a half. I can't remember. That's what I'm not remembering. So, all right. So we're going to do the tips now. So I'm doing this. This is, well, it's kind of a negative space nail because it's clear here, but I'm having the glitter. So this is a, instead of an overlay, I call it an underlay. And then I will show you 5/8. Thank you, Becky. A 5/8 inch punch are going to be the, so here, let me find, all right. Okay, so I'm going to do a double layer tip. And then all right. Will you file at the end? I don't usually file, so I'll let these cure, and then once in a while, if I have a glitter that's bugging me, I'll use a clippers, like my nail clippers. Okay, so when you're doing tips, if you are doing a slant tip, so there's a V tip, which you go opposite, do a one color one way and one color the other way. So you flip them this way to cut it. So you have the slants cut it opposite when you open them up. If you're doing a slant tip where they're the same, and I'll show you, I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to do, and I'm just going to cut. Sometimes I get really picky and I'll use a straight edge. Okay, so the key is here, you want to take the plastic off first before you cut, because it makes it a lot harder to get the plastic off once you cut it. And then I use these tweezers that have this super sharp point, and these are the easiest way for me to separate the strip if you don't have that tab, or if you do any punching or cutouts. So, and then what I'm going to do is you just line up, line it up where you want it and put it on here, and I will show you. So this is my base of my slant tip, and then I'm putting this one over the top. And the reason I'm using these two colors is because there's enough contrast to show off. So sometimes I want to make sure I get enough, I get the edge covered, but there. Okay. So it is not super difficult because you just need a scissors. I've seen this done where you don't actually even need a scissors. You just use the edge of a strip. I like to cut it because then it's easier to get two of these. done here, you know. So this side's easier. You don't even need like tweezers because this side has the tab. I don't even need to rip that off. So we're gonna just line it up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, it doesn't have to be perfectly matched with the other one. Nobody's gonna notice. Oh, sorry, I'm really bad about saying what sets these are too. So the dark blue is the Naughty or Ice. The glitter overlay is Over the Moon, and this one is Tulum It May Concern. I think that's what it's called. I should probably double check that. Yes, Tulum It May Concern. So this is a fun and easy way to add a little DIY, little custom look to your mani. I'm just doing, you can do a full mani of tips like this. Like I said, for this, I'm just doing 2 accent nails. You can do it with or without an underlay. I mean, there's so many different ways to apply this, you guys. You can use, you know, obviously any 2 sets. The one thing I have learned with doing the layering the tips like this is make sure that the 2 have enough contrast. You want a dark or a light and a light contrast because it helps, that makes them pop a little bit. So that is the first hand. I'm going to finish this other hand really quick. I'm going to scroll through and pick a winner for the cold front, my retired set. Sorry, I got a little extra here. I'll have to clean all that off. I will do cleanup after I'm not on a live. But make sure you push it down with your cuticle pusher. I just tuck it all under for now. I might file this kind of excess. Sometimes I would file, or I'll clip, or I'll just pick at it until it comes off. So again, with the slant tips, remember, take off the plastic layer, or anytime you're going to use a punch or a scissors, I highly recommend taking off that plastic. I've done it before. It's just harder to get it. It's harder to get the plastic off once you've cut it. So, all right. Have I been on camera this whole time? All right. Yes, this is my jam. I tend to... Do you guys notice that your manis kind of start to look, not alike, but there's definitely things you... Hold on. I saw a question. Where did it go? See, they flip through so fast. Oh, you keep it in. Oh, so I will sometimes I'll let it cure, let it like set up with that excess under there. Just so as it like finishes curing, it'll set up and protect the end of that nail. If you wrap it around the tip of your nail like that, you're going to have a little bit more protection against like chipping on the tips. So, or shrinkage. Some people notice that the sets kind of shrink, especially if you're using search and top coats. I think some of those quick drying top coats can create a little bit of shrinkage on the nails. I'm not paying attention to if these are similar, but that's okay. So, and then after, you can either file that off or clip it, but see how when you wrap around the end like that, you get the strip on the very end of that nail. It helps to protect it. So, all right, we're almost done. You guys, thanks for bearing with me. And then we'll do that drying. Oh, and now I scrolled up, so I have to go back down. Okay. So the one thing fun with the slants is that you can actually I do something I call an asymmetrical curved tip too, is where I use that quarter trick I talked about, and I cut a very kind of dramatic curve and I do the double layer tips like that, but it has like and I do asymmetrical, so it's like this, but just a little bit more dramatic with the with that kind of shape to it. This one isn't wanting to cut for some reason. All right, good enough. This seriously might have been my fastest mixed mani on a live video where I'm actually trying to talk to, because look at us. We're getting on 35 minutes. That's nothing. All right. And I thought I was going to be over on time. All right. So you guys, a couple different techniques I shared. Centering that glitter dips. Putting on a glitter dip. If you haven't done a glitter dip. If you haven't done a mixed mani, well, the first basic mixed mani is to use one set, like a solid. So let's say New York Minute, because that's a great one. And then just adding like 2 nails that are Tokyo Lights. That's one way to do a mixed mani. That's the basic, that's the most simple, and that's easiest. Then you can also do adding an overlay is a great way to customize your mani. So we have the glitter dips, and then we also have the designs. So, and look, they're different my accent nails are different on different nails, but it's fine. So